Magicka is a competent homily to geek culture dressed up as a cooperative action-adventure game. The screen is regularly filled with 7 shades of chaotic energy blasts, and while it describes itself as a satire, it is also very much a title with hardcore depth for those who have too much time on their what's-it-stained hands. You play as a young wizard entrusted with the task of saving the deliberately generic fantasy world, which basically involves mowing your way through thousands of goblins, imps, mages, walking trees and wolfmen with natty bodily hair. Most foes will burst like a condom full of blood and snot after a sustained attack, creating some cathartic action in which gore and a brief halt to the onslaught are your rewards. Magicka's plot is intentionally thin on the ground, with the NPCs spouting gibberish in a way that makes them sound like a mixture of characters from Banjo-Kazooie, The Sims, and that Swedish walrus from the Woody Woodpecker cartoons. Some of it's funny, some of it's not, but there are some nice gaming in-jokes amongst the typical nods to Lord of the Rings and Star Wars. Magicka's gameplay makes it feel like a side-scrolling beat-em-up from the 80s and 90s. Forward momentum is relentless, with exploration rewarding you with new spells. You cast spells by selecting a combination of 8 elements which sit like appealing Smarties in the bottom right of your display. It is the juggling of different elemental powers that gives the game its unique twist on a familiar premise, and there is a certain logic to the combos which can result in everything from impressive violent bursts of energy to ground-shattering area attacks. You can cast spells against anything on screen, including yourself, so a few accidental suicides are inevitable. You will also need to learn particular combos if you want to survive the tougher battles, although button mashing is actually a serviceable replacement for skill, and spamming an effective attack will generally see you through, no matter how the enemy's weaknesses and strengths are supposed to be stacked against specific elements. If you want to play with friends, then Magicka allows 4-way co-op play, and this is where things get really insane. Or at least they would if the first few weeks following its release weren't spent revealing a lack of complexity in the online mechanics and a tendency for dropped connections to spoil a session of play. The developer has been hastily patching Magicka and the experience is much improved. It's the co-op mode that will keep you playing. There is still some way to go until essential things like in-game chat and mid-session joining are made available to really round out the experience. The sales figures suggest Magicka is a hit by indie standards, but it won't be everyone's goblet of dragon blood. Its oddly refreshing approach to the murder of mythical beasts gives it the potential for longevity, but it won't win legions of fans in its current state. I'm now off to test my simile about blood, snot and condoms. Wish me luck.